Home is where connections are made, memories are formed, and ideas are born. And no one knows home better than NFM. Thanks for tuning in to I Am Home, the podcast that goes deeper than trends and dives into what it means to make your house a home.
Renee Quevedo here, stepping in for Tyler, and we are here at NFM headquarters with audio ace, Becca Sudbeck.
Seriously. Hi, Renee.
And Hillary Waltmath, our visual display general manager.
Hey.
And today we are talking to Jennifer Lutz about fall cat care. Hey, Jennifer.
Hi.
Jennifer is our merchandising support assistant and one of our new guest podcast hosts, specializing in cats and cat influencing. She has Little Miss and Zero. Those are those influencing cats.
And today's Little Miss Monday.
Okay, love that.
Mhm.
Here we go. As a reminder, our new guest hosts are NFMers who are home life experts we call on to answer your questions. Today, we've asked Jennifer on to talk about all the things cat care, and especially during the fall season. But before we get to that, let me tell you why we're even doing this podcast. And that's because NFM is more than just your everything home store. We're in the business of improving lifestyles because your home life should be your best life. Learn more at nfm.com. Okay, Jennifer, we've talked about blinds and rug safety, as well as what it means to be a cat influencer. So today we're talking about fall cat care.
Mhm.
Fall cat care. Let's say that all the time. Okay, what are the unique challenges and opportunities for cat owners during the fall season?
So I think, indoor cats, there's not much of a change. I'm a proponent of keeping your cats indoors. Their lifespan is 2 to 3 times longer
Wow.
if they're indoor versus indoor-outdoor. So there isn't a whole lot different indoor, but if you do have outdoor cats, you really have to make sure that they have a nice, safe place, warm place. There's a lot of DIY kind of things that you can use, like storage bins and cut a
Oh, yeah.
hole
Yeah.
in, and then use horse bedding, and that
Oh, cool.
helps them retain heat. So that would be kind of the difference for cats for fall and winter.
Nice. And does this affect their behavior? Like, do they get spookier around spooky season?
Some of them I think probably do. They get a little, I don't know if I can say this, but so when Zero gets a little like spooky, and he does like the spooky cat thing and gets
Yeah.
a little crazy, I call it, he's got the devil in his butt.
There you go. That feels podcast safe.
Yeah.
Pod
for
safe.
sure.
Yeah. So they do have a tendency to, just like people, when the sun goes down
Yeah.
earlier, get a little sleepier, get a little slower, takes a little bit more to get them to play.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah.
What's this is off topic, but what is like cat scratch fever? Does that have anything to do with like cat's temperament in general, or is that just like the song?
It is a song, but also, yeah, you can get severe illness from cat scratches
Oh.
and cat bites.
Yeah, I think it's like literal.
Yeah, it's the actual
Oh,
cat scratch, a
there's
fever
nothing.
you get from
Oh.
cat scratch.
I'm over here like cat scratch fever. Like,
it is
ready.
a much more fun
Not
song than the literal thing that
to
happens.
celebrate.
Wow,
Yeah.
feel educated. That's like Ring Around the Rosie. Learning the
Yeah.
origin story
Yeah.
of that, you're like,
Uh-huh.
okay,
Yeah.
that's a child
Uh-huh.
song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Rooted in something not good.
Yeah. Most things are.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so then what are some potential hazards for cats during the fall? Is there anything with like seasonal plants, leaves falling, all that kind of stuff that we should be knowledgeable about?
Yeah, so I think, during fall, a lot of people bring in plants from outside, and really have to know what is safe for cats, because the list of plants that are toxic for cats seems to be much longer than the list that is safe. Especially like chrysanthemums are a pretty fall flower. They are toxic to cats, so you don't want them in your
Do
home.
cats
Or
typically like them? Have you seen your cats ever engage in them?
there is no typical cat.
Right, that's
I
fair.
think
That's fair.
I don't bring flowers home because I'm afraid of what my cats will do. But I'm also
Mhm.
like, I personally have a lot of anxiety about lilies. And like a lot of flower arrangements have lilies in
Mhm.
them.
Yeah. Quite fragrant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even the
Yeah,
pollen
the pollen is
can cause
yeah.
kidney failure in 3 days.
Oh.
Oh
So if
my
they get the
gosh.
pollen on them and they lick, then
Dang.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
yeah, it's intense. So I just don't bring flowers
Yeah.
home because I'm like,
Yeah.
Smart. Not worth
even
The
finding out.
fuss
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
So, if you do have plants, like I didn't realize that monsteras were toxic
Yeah.
to cats.
They are for dogs as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I
sad.
mean,
They're
just a quick
good-looking plant,
Google
too.
before you bring in a
Mhm.
plant
Yeah.
from outside, maybe it's
Or adopt a pet. Make sure you take inventory of what you already own.
yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
And like, because spider plants are safe for cats, but they do cause a hallucinogenic effect for them.
Oh,
Hilarious.
So-
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's kind of like I think it's in the like catnip, like they think it's catnip cousins, but so
Okay.
it's technically safe, but they might eat too much of it.
Wow.
interesting.
So-
Yeah, and I forget, like with the dogs, we just like put them up high, but cats,
Yeah, they can climb.
That's-
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
like their favorite thing to
no
do.
problem.
yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Another reason I don't have plants in my home either
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
I don't trust.
So
Love
for
them,
people,
do not trust my cats.
for people that do have those maybe more exotic plants and pets, is there stuff that you can like do? I mean, I've seen spray stuff, but is there other like tricks for cats specifically that you can try to?
Yeah, I believe it's either lemon peel or orange peel. They don't like the smell of, so you can like put that in the
Mm.
pots. Really, anything like strong smell that you can
Mhm.
put in the pot that's safe for the plant will keep them out. There are, floating shelves if you can get them in a place where they can't jump up on top of
Mhm.
them.
Yeah. I feel like I saw foil being used somewhere.
Yeah, foil is a cat deterrent. It's makes them very afraid. I don't like to do things to cats that make them afraid,
Oh.
but it is effective.
And
They do not like
fear
the
is
sound. They
effective.
do not
It's
like
the
that
sound
sound.
that they don't
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
And what looks nicer than foil all over your home?
Well, not a lot, let me tell ya. Let me tell
Probably
ya.
those all of the wrapping paper that comes in your
Yeah.
delivery boxes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You're wrapping.
Yeah,
rug.
that's
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's different. My thing is different.
Right.
Metallic and shiny.
And they like it. Okay.
True.
Okay, another question is how can cat owners incorporate fall themed toys and enrichment activities into the homes to keep their cats engaged and happy?
Yeah, so every place that sells cat things has fall toys, and so
Just snag them one of those
yeah,
off the shelves.
they're everywhere. Another thing that's kind of fun is like when you're carving your pumpkins, the inside, like the pumpkin flesh, you can give cats just plain unsalted, unbuttered, unspiced pumpkin.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
So there's recipes online for pumpkin cat treats,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Can they eat the seeds? Probably not.
they can, but it's a choking hazard. So
Sure.
better to give a little bit of the
Yeah.
pumpkin puree.
Yeah. Interesting.
Hmm. Pumpkin spice latte.
Is
for
there
cats.
okay, Tyler has a really good question here. Is there any good time to reassess your cat's toys, like their scratch pads and things? Like how often should you be looking at that kind of stuff?
Every day. I mean, there's not really necessarily a season. It's when is it time to get rid of it? Especially like cat scratchers and those like cardboard scratchers, they
Mhm.
can get tore up pretty quickly.
Mm.
And anything that poses a choking hazard, there's a cat that will find a way to choke on it.
Right.
Like my cat loves his sparkly balls, but he likes to chew all the sparkles off.
Mhm.
And so he's got a very festive litter box all the time.
There you
It's a
go.
party box, not a litter box. Oh my
so,
God.
so he chews all the sparkles off. The sparkles aren't very long, so it's not like
Uh-huh.
a huge, and I know that they're coming out, so
Uh-huh.
it's fine. But once he chews all the sparkles off, then it becomes kind of a choking hazard.
Right.
So
Sure.
then he doesn't get to play with that ball anymore. But
Yeah.
if you're only doing it seasonally, you might miss some things. So
Yeah.
it's kind of once you notice,
Mhm.
needs to be replaced.
And do scratching posts eventually do they lose interest if it's too worn down?
Yeah, it gets harder to scratch.
Mhm.
When I have a scratching post that needs to be replaced, what I'll do first is rip all the Cecil off and then hot glue Cecil rope around to
Mm.
give it new life.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to buy
Buy
a
a
new one.
whole
Whole
new
new. Mhm.
structure. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Makes it hard when you go to replace it though, because then you're like a year and a half out and it's their favorite scratching post and now they don't make it anymore because it's a
Oh.
year and a half
Right.
out.
Old model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Good to
I've-
know.
I've
Insider
used-
trading.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've used his fan group before to find
Oh,
look
my
at
thing,
that.
because
Yep.
I'll try googling it, can't find it, and I'll post them
Mhm.
like Hive Mind. What is this? And like
Uh-huh.
Hive
10
mind.
minutes later, they've got a link for me.
I
So
love the internet.
it's
Mhm.
incredible.
Really is. It's astonishing. Speaking of the internet, I'm curious to know what Lil Miss and Zero are going to be for Halloween.
Yeah, do they wear costumes?
I value my limbs and life, so Little Miss does not wear a costume.
She is the costume.
She
People dress up as her for Halloween.
Literally,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what she would like, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Zero loves wearing clothes.
Yeah.
He loves wearing costumes. He can tell when I'm gonna try and take it off of him because he will run away from me. But it's hard because he's too wide and too long for cat.
Mm.
So we have to find the right dog equivalent.
Hmm.
And usually bulldog gets us there.
Yeah.
That's
but-
funny.
But bulldogs and cats are built different.
Sure.
And so there's
Legs
like
are a little
weird,
bit
yeah, the legs
less-
are the
Mhm.
legs are in the wrong spot. The Velcro is in a weird spot. So that's
Mhm.
why I have to like, you
Yeah.
know,
Just
we
try
put
a
him
bunch
on
of them and say like
Mhm.
this
Get
one
like
works,
a
this one doesn't
toddler
work. Yeah.
costume.
kinda, yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, but he loves them. I haven't figured out what he's gonna be this year yet. We got time.
Do you have any safety tips when it comes to choosing costumes for cats that you can share?
Don't leave them unattended in a costume.
Yeah.
And the big thing is kind of noticing their temperament. If they are hating it, don't keep going.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Zero also, like, he loves wearing his costumes, but he still gets treats afterwards. So he
Mhm.
knows, like, you know, this is okay
Well,
that this happened. Yeah.
This will bring life
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
That's funny. I like that. Okay. Specifically regarding Halloween and Thanksgiving, cat owners should be aware of probably trick-or-treaters and then lots of company. So how are you kind of like desensitizing Zero and Little Miss, and just how should people prepare their cats for new visitors in general?
Yeah. So Zero and Little Miss don't really have to deal with it. I live in an apartment, and
Sure.
as much as I would love to give out candy, no one comes to my door.
Trick or treats in your apartment.
There's no
complex.
trick or treating in our apartment complex, which is fine. That's probably safety. But what you really want to have for cats is a safe place that they can go, safe and quiet,
Mhm.
because you can, you know,
Mhm.
socialize them as much as you can. But cats are
Mhm.
kind of solitary creatures. They,
Yeah.
if there's a lot of activity, they're going to want to
Mhm.
know that they have that safe place to go to.
You're
Nice.
sneaking out the door. Worry about them sneaking out the door.
Correct.
That's
Yeah.
what I would be afraid of.
Yeah, if you've got a door opening and closing a lot, but
Mhm.
and you've got the room that they can live in with a shut door,
Yeah.
that would be better.
Mhm.
Do you put a bell on your cats just to like when family and companies ever in there?
No, family and company have to. Where my cats run my life, family and company need to understand that the cats win.
Yeah. So
going
they're
to
wearing
so-
a bell,
run
right,
your
not the
life.
cat.
So when you come in, make sure you know where they are.
Uh-huh.
This is
Yeah,
the
sure.
cats are gonna live.
You're in their home.
They're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna do what they're gonna do.
Uh-huh.
I imagine though, like if you're ever worried when you had a fresh new cat to put something like there isn't any safety
Like especially
concern.
like the little like kittens.
Yeah,
like,
'cause
they're
they're
so
so
tiny and they
tiny
can
and
like squeeze
quiet.
anywhere.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Kittens are really good at finding tiny
Yeah,
places.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like you,
Yeah,
like
I've heard
you-
those stories that they cannot find their cat, and they're like, oh, they like crawled up the back of my dresser into this
Yeah.
drawer. Like,
Mm-hmm.
My friend got a cat like a year and a half ago, and I could whenever we'd go over and like visit, I wouldn't know where she was because she
Mhm.
wasn't super into the scratching. But then all of a sudden she'd just be like on my neck, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Whoa!"
Yeah.
Thank God I'm not allergic, but
Yeah.
very sweet cat, but
Yeah.
also just like stealthy as all
Yeah.
get out.
Yeah.
I'll keep an eye on that one. Okay. Now, when it comes to traveling with cats, what are the what's the prep work with that? How does that work in general? I've never traveled with a cat.
Yeah, I choose not to travel with my cats. If I go somewhere, I get a cat sitter because
Yeah.
that's going to be the most comfortable for them.
Mhm.
They
Sure.
they know where their stuff is. They've got their litter box, their food, everything. But if you do have to travel with the cat, really make sure that they're not afraid of their carrier. So you
Mhm.
can, leave the carrier out in the open in your home well ahead of travel time so
That's
they're not
smart.
afraid of it. Like I have I have 2 carriers for Little Miss because I left one out to get her used to the carrier. But then she loved it so much she took naps every single day in it.
Oh
And
my
I was like,
gosh.
okay, well now I can't actually take this from you
Yeah.
and carry you to the vet in it because I'm afraid you're gonna hate this. So
Traumatize it.
then I got her one that's like specifically for vets. But so now there's just cat carriers all over my house. But so make sure that it's out so they know
Get
kind of what
familiar.
get comfortable and get used
Mhm.
to it. You can feed them in there so they kind
Mm.
of associate the cat carrier with
Good
good
things,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
And plan for first, second, third options of especially litter if it's a long trip.
Is there a specific, like, this is just such a random question, but say I'm like taking my cat to my aunt's house and I immediately want her to like get out and get comfortable. Is there a room that cats typically like? Like, is it tile floor versus carpet floor that they can get acclimated to a new space really fast? Or you just gotta
No, it's
play your
cat.
hand
It's the
and see what
cat. Yeah,
happens.
Mhm.
it's gonna be
Wow.
it'll be the cat deciding.
Yeah.
Because one person I know there's people who take their cats traveling all over the place and they love
Mhm.
it, and everywhere they go they're comfortable. But you might take your cat somewhere and they don't come out of hiding until it's time to leave.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I
yeah.
was on a plane once when somebody had their cat, and I don't know what the situation was, but that cat
Was not happy.
hated it.
Yeah.
Hated it. And
Just
I think
mewing in the back.
I wouldn't call it mewing,
Crying.
screaming.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And
That's-
then there was like an odor for a while.
Boy.
Yeah, because you can't
Mhm.
they're not,
Uh-huh.
dogs. They don't
Yep.
get trained to go in a certain time
Uh-huh.
and experience. So
Yeah.
they're gonna go when they're
Yep.
gonna go.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Little Miss would be screaming the entire time. So yeah, she
Mhm.
stays at home with the cat sitter that loves them,
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
and
Peace
Let's
of mind.
comfort
they
for
love
everybody.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Comfort is key with a cat.
Yeah.
I'm gathering.
Mhm.
And I think it's just less stress for me to travel and not have to like, okay, well, I have to get the hotel that is
Yep.
cat friendly and I
Sure.
have to like make sure I've got all of these steps and
Mhm.
because I also get nervous about them leaving because you'd want to have your microchip up to date
Mhm.
because
Oh, sure.
God forbid something happens. But
Sneaks off.
That's so many more things to travel with too,
yeah,
Yeah. in
which
general.
adds stress
Yeah.
to the situation.
So, in keeping with keeping your cat comfy and experiencing new things, is there a way that you kind of prepare the home for fall when it comes to like adding new stuff? Do you buy new beds or anything like that for them when it gets to being colder out? Do you have to adjust?
my cats don't know that pet beds are for them. So like, well, I have a accent chair that is just for Zero. That's Zero's chair.
Mhm.
So he doesn't really need a bed.
Sure.
Little Miss has the queen bed, so she also doesn't really need a bed. But I do, winter is when I start pulling out all the blankets. I'm one person and I have more blankets than I think a 4-person family home
Sure.
would even need. But I've got a bunch of them and I pull them all out, and so
Mhm.
there's just
Little
Ev-
swirls of cats everywhere.
yeah, everywhere's a blanket nest for my cats,
Mhm.
basically.
And they like that. They like to feel snuggled up like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah, when I leave for the morning, Little Miss doesn't like a made bed. She doesn't like flat.
Yeah.
Mm.
And all the blankets have to be kind of crumpled up so that she can have a little nest to lay in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
That's true. Can't
Cats
make your
don't
bed.
really like dig to make a bed, do they? Like a dog would.
not mine don't.
Yeah.
just
But
make
they also have a
biscuits.
human that does it for them.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Catered to.
So,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Other
Cats
people
that are
might
catered
have a
to.
different answer for that.
That's amazing. Okay, well, we need to start wrapping things up, and I have one final question for you. For listeners on a budget, what are some affordable yet thoughtful gift ideas for cat owners or their cats? And what about listeners who want to spare no expense? Does a cat make a good gift?
Ooh.
That's a risky question there. That's the last piece.
Well, let's start with cheap gifts. So one of the best gifts I ever got, because I really like sustainable, reusable, recycled kind of gifts. My friend made catnip toys out of toddler socks that
Mm.
she filled with catnip and then just tied the top end, my cats go nuts for them.
Because they have to untie it.
No, it's just a
They can't
catnip
get to
toy.
it,
They
though.
can't
Uh-huh.
get they can't get it in, but it
Oh,
smells
it
like
smells.
catnip.
Mhm.
And
Got it.
small enough that you're not like a toddler sock is little.
Yeah.
Versus like filling a.
It's like those like
Wow.
catnip mice, but recyclable, reusable. If
Yeah.
the catnip smell goes away, I untie it, put new catnip in. There you go.
Mhm.
Here's your toy again.
Mhm.
Wow. She hacked that on her own? Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. There's a lot of little cheap
Things.
things you can get
Mhm.
for cats. A lot of it catnip related. And as far as like extravagant gifts, I saw that on nfm.com we have pet beds that look like tiny couches.
Oh my god. Very cute.
Oh.
So that would be adorable.
Uh-huh.
Would I spend $100 on a pet bed that looks like a couch, even though my cats don't use a bed? Probably yes.
I was gonna
might
say
buy
If
that.
you're
I
about to say
might-
no, I do not believe
I
it.
might
Do not
still,
believe
I
you at
might
all.
still be interested in getting that for them for Christmas,
Mhm.
because it would be adorable
Yeah.
if they sat on it.
If they sat on it.
Big heavy if
Yeah.
on that. But as far as giving a cat as a gift, if you give someone an animal,
In general.
you are giving them a commitment. You're not giving them a
Yeah,
gift.
that's a-
Indoor cats.
bad plan in my
Mhm.
opinion.
Yeah, indoor cats live 13 to 20 years.
So
So that's
That's a
longevity.
commitment.
yeah.
Gift that keeps on
Longest
giving.
relationship.
Mhm.
Yeah. And even like some cats there's a cat that lived to be 38,
Oh
which
my
is I
God.
think how old Little Miss is going to be, just out of spite.
Sure.
So
That's crazy.
yeah,
is.
you have to know that the person you're giving it to wants
In the
that.
market for a cat.
Yeah, but even then, like I wouldn't have wanted to gift the cat because I wanted to like make a connection with the cat. So
Sure.
you have to be
Pretty
positive.
sure. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
That you're
good
doing
to
the right
know.
thing.
I mean, I didn't have any plans.
Not a
but
surprise.
As soon as I saw the
You could
question,
be
I
like,
thought,
Hey,
hmm,
I'd like to buy you a cat. Do you want to go pick one
Look
out
at-
together?
Yeah.
That's
That would be
maybe a
that would
better
be
plan.
better. Yeah.
yeah.
Then
just
here's
being
a
like,
surprise cat.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
they'd be like, "What's wrong with it? Why didn't you want it?" I picked it out just for you. Okay, well, thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Thank you for talking fault cat care with us. And Becca, thank you. And Hillary, thank you. And Scott on the mic, audio, screens, all things, thank you. And thank you, all you listeners. And remember to like, rate, and subscribe to the I Am Home podcast wherever you listen. And for more about us, head over to nfm.com where you can shop 24/7 for today's top furnishing styles. Until then, remember, home is what you make it.
Thanks for joining us today for I Am Home with Tyler Weisskopf, Hillary Waltemath, and Becca Sudbeck. No one knows home quite like NFM. So if you'd like more information on home design at NFM, please check out nfm.com and leave us a review on the podcast platform of your choice.